and we are talking about the Ramayana of written by Valmiki. And secondly, as you know, this is the first poetry of Sanskrit. So we are discussing it for the first time after Vedas. In the first lesson, we discussed Hinduism and nature of Hinduism. Then in the second lesson, we discussed Vedic culture. Then in the third, we discussed Vedic literature and Vedic religion. And today we are going to classical Sanskrit literature, and its first book is Valmiki Ramayan. So we will be discussing it in short because time is limited. And especially Ramayan story is known to each and everyone. So I will take and discuss only three events. Analysis of three events will be done here. Sri Rama's exile, killing of Vali, and Sanjeevani by Hanuman. But firstly, I will talk about some introductory topic of Valmiki. This Ramayana is a piece of world literature and a culture. It comes into the very popular book in the whole world. And there is a shlok also, Yavat Sthasyanti Girya Nadyascha Mahitale Tavat Ramayani Katha Loke Pracharishati. Till when mountains and rivers will be flowing on the earth, this story of Ram will be popular among people. Always will be popular among people. So it is very important book, and it is called Adi Kavya, the first Kavya of Sanskrit literature, first book of classical Sanskrit literature. And generally it is believed that Rama lived in Treta Yuga, and Valmiki was contemporary to Ram because he was also a character in Ramayana. So chronologically, we cannot reach to any conclusion. The name is of two words, Ramasya Ayanam. Ram and Ayan, two words are here. Ayan means path or journey. Journey of virtue to conquer vice. Journey of truth to conquer untruth. Journey of Dharma to conquer adharma. So this is a journey of Sri Rama. Or we may say that Rama is the name of Sita also. So it is the journey of Sita also. Ramaya Ayanam. Ramayana has 24,000 verses. They are divided into 7 books, 7 kands are there. The main story is of Ram, whose wife Sita was abducted by demon king Ravan, who was the king of Lanka. And these 7 books are named on the basis of a story which is in that part, or on the basis of place where that story is going on. Such as Balkand is the first Kand, and in Balkand, birth of Ram and marriage to Sita is described. Then second is Ayodhya Kand, where preparation for Rama's coronation is described, and then his exile is there. Aranyakand, next Kand, and story of forest life of Sri Rama and kidnapping of Sita is in Aranyakand, and Aranya is the name of forest. Ayodhya is the name of the city where Rama's story and marriage, etc. was going on. Then the third one is, fourth one will be Kishkindha Kand, where Ram meets Hanuman and Sugriv, and they plan for their how to deal with the Rama, they plan there. And next is Sundarkand, And heroism or Hanuman is mentioned there. Meeting with Sita is mentioned there. And it is a very beautiful Kand. That is why it is called Sundar Kand. And Sundar name is also taken by other poets also, as Tulsidas has taken the name of Sundar, and all other names of Valmiki are taken by Tulsidas in Ramcharitmanas. Then Yuddha Kand is there, where battle of Ram and Ravan is described. And lastly, Uttarkand is there, where birth of Lanka and Kush with Sita is described. Yuddhakand is the name given by Valmiki. And other name for popular for it is Lanka Kand by some other poets. So as I told, Ramayana is a very popular epic of Indian origin, and it is the basis of so many texts based on Ram and so many Ramayans based on the story of Ramayana. Presently, there are more than 200 Ramayana in the world. Now we will analyze the main story as Dharma is our main object. What is Dharma? In the Ved, we have seen that the whole Ved is there to explain Dharma, and that is universal Dharma to be followed by all people, not only for Indians but by all people, because it is Manav Dharma. It is the basic uh, righteousness, morals, ethics. So, what is the dharma? What is the ultimate ideal for Rama? That has to be seen in Ramayana, which is written by Valmiki. And in the Ved, we have only rules and regulations. As you may heard this small sentence, Satyam vad dharmam char. You should speak truth. You should follow dharma. This is Veda. But how to follow dharma and how to speak truth is not described there. So to explain that, narrations of Vedas, these epics Ramayana and Mahabharata are written, and the whole story is to explain the morals of Vedas. As the first sentence of this slide says, Ramayana exemplifies Vedic values. Valmiki laid great emphasis on dharma, and Valmiki believes that there are two forces in this world, the moral and the immoral, both opposing eternally for dominance, both are fighting for dominance. There is no question of coexistence of them. And that is why Ram is the uh, uh, representative of the whole dharma. And he is called Maryada Purushottam, he is called Dharma Raj, he is called Dharmagya, Dharmatma, Dharmavan, Dharmabrit, Ramo Vigrehavan Dharma. This is a very important quotation. He is in fact the form of dharma. He is dharma. He is everything. If you are confused how to deal with that situation, then you should see the life of Sri Rama and you will find the answer. How to work dharmanukul according to dharma. How you can work. So dharma is the ultimate of Sri Rama's life, Sri Rama's character, and that's why Ramayana is very important. Here I am taking only three principles of Rama, which Ram follows. Prajanu Ranjan is the A principle. The greatest stress is given on dharma, duties, and one part of dharma is Raja Dharma, the dharma of a king. What is the dharma of a king towards subjects? Then Prajanuranjan, that is the purpose of Raj-dharma, pleasing his subject is the primary duty of a king. In every situation, he should be very careful about his praja, subject. No one should be uh, sad there in city. And that is why you have heard the story of washerman in Ramayana, and Ram has uh, left Sita in the forest. So that was the reason he was to please his subject, and it is the duty of king, no one on the his in his state should be unhappy. No one, no, not a single person should be unhappy. And this Prajanuranjan is his primary duty. Prajahit, Lokahit, also these terms are used there for protecting the people. Then the second is welfare of all. This is principle B of Rama's life or character. Protection and security of state and subjects is only a mean to an end welfare of state. The sentence says that welfare of state is an end and protection and security of state is a means. But till this mean is not fulfilled, it will be an end. It will be a goal. It has to be done by the king. When it is done, then through that, he should be careful about the welfare of the state. The Ramayan has been the ideal of a welfare state in India as well as in the world. The state primarily belongs to its people. King is to serve them. The state should contribute to the yogshema of his subject. Maximum good to maximum people without fear is the goal of the king. So king is Rashtra Bhrit, Shram Data, Vriddhi Kamo hi Rashtrasya. Vriddhi Kamo, development, state should get development. So all these factors are there, and the main essence of this is that welfare of the state is to be maintained, to be thought of by the king. And the third is security of the state. That is Rashtra Raksha. Security of the nation, Rashtra Raksha. That is a primary duty of a king, and it should be Dharmanukul, not by any wrong methods. It should be according to the methods which are prescribed under Dharma. So Dharmanukul Rashtra Raksha is primary duty of a king. And Yagya should be protected. Yagya is representative of academic life. Yagya is representative of all dharmic activities, all philosophical activities, and they are done by the scholars, by the sages, by the seers. But it is the duty of the king to protect them. And that is why Vishwamitra took Ram and Lakshman when they both returned from Vasishtha's ashram. And there in his Yagyashala, they both were working as a Dwarpal. They were protecting it. They were standing on the door just like a doorkeeper is standing. So protection of the Yagya was the main goal of Ram and Lakshmana. Valmiki principle ethics are based on Sri Rama's morals. And this is the Rashtraksha is the third. Now I will be talking about the exile, Rama's exile, Ram ka vanvas. Ram vanvas pe gaye the, and I think that the security of the state was a goal of Sri Rama's exile. He was not disturbed from the exile, but he started planning about how to do the security of the state, how to work for that for in these 14 years. So he started planning all these things, and now we will see in 5 kandas this is there. The second point, main part, 5 kands deal with Rama's activity during his exile. Only Balkand and lastly Uttarkand will be left over, and all the 5 kands are dealing with the activities during of exile, planning of exile, activities of exile. In Ayodhya Kand, exile is given by Kekai. Then in Aranyakand, he was living in forest. Then Kishkindha Kand, he was with Sugriv and Hanuman for the planning. Then in Sundarkand, again the story is going on during the period of exile. Then Yuddhakand, and where they are in the battlefield. So all the five kandas are dedicated to the story related to exile. And this event has many purpose. No doubt it has many purpose. But most important was to maintain security of the state and protection of its subject. In Hindi or Sanskrit, we can say Rashtra Raksha Lokahita. That will be done through security of state. What are the evidences which we get in the Ramayana about to these this fact to prove? First is when Kekai said that you wear Muni Vastra, you have to leave these decorative ornaments and dresses of king or prince. So he left all decorative ornaments and dresses and took Muni Vastra, Valkal, etc. But very carefully he kept his Dhanush and Tarkash for the protection of the state and its people. And not only this much, but he at once that ordered Lakshmana, go and bring divine weapons which Vashishta has given to us, including arrows similar to bomb rank. So many in this shloka, this is meaning of shloka. He tells the name two bows of full might, etc. Many weapons he is giving their name. So they should be brought by the Lakshmana, and we will be carrying that into the forest. So he is preparing something else. They are going to exile, but he is preparing something else. He is caring about the protection of his state. Then, when they were staying in Panchavati, what happened? After meeting Sutikshna and other sages, Ram told Sita that I have promised my protection to the rishis, inhabitants of Dandakaranya, from cruelty of the Rakshasas. I have promised to the people who are living here in Dandakaranya that I will be protecting them. Then he decided to stay at Panchavati near Godavari river, establishing an ashram on the advice of Rishi Agast. About 10 years Ram lived there in a Parnchala with Sita and Lakshmana. For 10 years, out of 14 years, 10 years he remained on single place, that was Panchavati. And during that period, he was researching about the various troublemaker centers of Ramana in the land during that period. He was researching, he was discussing with the rishis where they are, where they live. And later on, traveling towards forest, inside forest event, and he described those places also. Otherwise, why he is going to that points where these troublemakers are living? If a simple citizen will be there, go to the forest, he will like to avoid these places. Not he will inside. He will go inside the forest. So this is a important point related to Panchavati. There is a event when Bharat comes to the forest in the very beginning. He comes to forest with his mother, with other gurus and other persons. Even Sita's father is there. So all they are asking, requesting Ram to return to the Ayodhya and don't go to the forest. They are saying, in the middle way, Bharat met Bharadwaj Rishi. And then Bharadwaj Rishi has said at Chitrakoot, that was the place Chitrakoot, it was the first point where Ram stayed for a night. So Rama's exile was considered by Rishi Bharadwaj as beneficial to the welfare of men as well as for the gods and demons. At Chitrakoot, Bharadwaj told Bharat, Ram is exiled to the forest for the greatest good of gods, Danvas, rishis, holy men, and so there is no reason why you should grieve or abuse Kekai. You should not abuse Kekai. It is for the benefit of all persons, and it is planned by the deities. So this is the third point that shows that exile was for the security of the country, for the security of the state. Then analysis of the exile. According to the plotting of Kekai, Ram was exiled to the wood for 14 years. For 13 years, Sita was with Ram in the forest. In the last year, Sita was kidnapped by Ravana. Ram was an exiled prince, but was still behaving as a king or a prince. This is to be highlighted because Bharat has not accepted kingship officially. He was not sitting on the royal throne, Raj Singhasan. Ram was always busy with the welfare and happiness of his subjects. And fourth point is, before coming to over to the forest, Dashath has decided for Rama's incarnation as Yuvraj. And that was going on that night when Kekai asked for the boons and that Ram should go to the forest for 14 years. So analysis of the exile also shows that Ram was not behaving as a person who is going to Banvas. Even he was behaving like that as a king. He is there. He is a prince, and he has many responsibilities towards his subject. So this event of Ramayana is very important. And second, I will take killing of Bali. It is a short event, but very important. In the Kishkinda Kand, it happens. Often people ask this question, why Ram killed Bali? Why Ram choose Sugriva as his friend, not to Bali? Actually, Bali and Sugriva are brothers, but but Ram decided that he will do friendship with Sugriva, not with Bali. So this is a question, and the answer is Kabandh has advised Ram to seek friendship with Sugriva, who knew the geography and topography of the world. Ram's wife Sita is kidnapped, so he has to work for getting her back. And for that, where all these locations should be well known to the persons who are trying to get her back. So Sugriva was well aware of these topography and geography. And that's why Ram seek friendship with Sugriva, not with Bali. Sugriva will be a proper ally. This is second. He needed Rama's help, and Ram needed his help. There will be a subtle bond of friendship. If both needy persons are having friendship, then they will be very sincere and very truthful. Rama found Vali careless as a king who could not notice the evil act of Ravana taking away Sita through the way of sky, while Sugriva and Hanuman observed that very carefully. They both were sitting and Sita was going with Rama on the by skyway. So they have noticed and they later told Sri Ram about this. But Vali, who was the king of Kishkinda, could not notice, or his pupils could not notice. So that was the reason Vali was not made the friend, and Sugri was chosen to be a friend. Ram was, and it means Ram was holding royal powers even in exile. Again, I am highlighting the same point. Bharat did not give such authority to Ram at Chitrakoot, and when Bharat was there, he has not given this authority. But inference may be drawn about the existence of such authority from Rama's statement. When Ram is saying all this, then we can draw this inference that he is behaving like a king. When Bharat was king, his powers spread to his relations and Ram has a share in it. After the debate, it was arranged that Ram should be king in law and that Bharat should be his substitute. The person who delegated the authority certainly could resume back the authority. So this is the situation because Ram has not denied that he will never be a king. Bharat was not accepting to be a king. So only this was a management done for the 14 years that Bharat will look after that kingdom and Ram will be, when back, he will be king of Ayodhya. So he was behaving in the forest also as a prince, as a royal person who has to follow the Dharma for the protection of subject and the state. Second justification of killing Ram, killing Vali by Ram is on moral grounds. Vali has overpowered wife of Sugriva, younger brother, and it is Kshatriya Dharma to punish those who violate moral rules and commit sins. So Ram was following Kshatriya Dharma here in the killing of Vali. This is the second justification. And the third argument is very simple. He has made a promise to Sugriv that he will protect Sugriv. That is why he killed Bali. Killing of Vali was thus preservation of Vedic Dharma and following morals in proper way. So it was only following of Dharma, which is the main purpose, main character of Ram incarnation. And the third event is a small event again, but a very important event. In the Yuddha, in the battlefield, Brahmastra is used by Indrajit on the Ram and Lakshmana. So I am giving very short story here. According to Ramayana, when fight of Ram and Ravan was going on, after a few days, Rakshas forces were disappointed. Then Indrajit, son of Ravana, decided to go to the battlefield. After doing a small sacrifice to please God, he struck down large bodies of monkeys. Then he used Brahmastra on the army of Sri Ram. Most of the monkey warriors with Ram and Lakshmana were struck down, senseless, by the Brahmastra. It was only out of respect to the weapon of Brahma that they seemed bound by the astra. So they were all persons, including Ram and Lakshmana, were bound by the astra Brahmastra because it was the astra of Brahma. With great difficulty, everyone was injured there in the battlefield. Then, with great difficulty, injured Jamavanta asked Vibhishana, is Hanuman well and safe? If mighty Hanuman is alive, all Vanars warriors, Ram and Lakshmana, will be alive. Then he instructed Hanuman about the Aushadhi mountain on Himalayas. Very carefully, we should listen to the story of Sanjeevani Bhuti, how Hanuman is going towards that. This is the original story by Valmiki, and here no other Vaidya etc. is there. Only Jamwant is directing the way of the Himalayas and telling about the Aushadhis which Hanumanji has to bring back from that Aushadhi mountain. Himalayas. Hanuman took his long flight up to the mountain of magic herbs. Herbs then themselves, when they found that there was someone who would take them away, herbs hid themselves. They hid their light. All the herbs were bright and they were illuminous, but they hid their light, and they when they found that someone is here and he will took away him to them. So if Hanumanji got annoyed and he hold the whole mountain, lofty mountain. This is the story why he he took the whole of the mountain because he don't want delay and of any type. Then what happened? This last portion is very important. Smell of four medicines, not that medicines were used and they were uh, grinded and other process were done. No, only the smell of four medicines named Mita Sanjeevani, Vaishalyakarni, Suvarnakarni, Sandhanakarni of boundless potency from that magic mountain worked and all injured and fainted warriors of Vanar Sena with Ram and Lakshman were cured. By the smell of four medicines, all were cured. Rakshasas were thrown away daily into the sea by the order of Ramana, as number of death should not be known to others. Question arises that smell can act onto Rakshasas also, who were there lying in the battlefield. But the story says that no, it was not possible because every night when this war was stopped, all the persons who were dead or injured, of Rakshas uh, army were thrown away in the ocean, and no one was there in the battlefield. So no one can get alive. Only Vanar Sena, all Vanar Sena was conscious and they get up. True Rakshasas could not get advantage of divine herb. Finally, Hanumanji carried back that Aushadhi mountain to its original place on Himalayas and returned to the side of Rama within that night. This is the last shlok of the chapter, which says that Hanumanji again carried back that Aushadhi mountain from Lanka on his shoulder. And then he went back to the Himalayas on the same place. He fixed that mountain and then returned. So in the night time, twice he has done up and down towards Himalaya mountain. So what is the analysis of this event? Sage Valmiki's supremacy is shown here. He is a very, very great poet because he knows the all weapons, all types of weapons he knows, or Brahmastra, he is using Brahmastra and effect of Brahmastra shown there. And today also we know that Brahmastra like weapons are most powerful, and during these times when there is war between Israel and Hamas, all these weapons are talked about. Then the second point is he was having all medical knowledge and wonder herbs he has described, which were not used on the body, but only smell was working at, to get injury uh, uh, fulfilled, ठीक हो जाए, इंजरी ठीक हो जाए, उस पर वो मेडिकल नॉलेज वर्क कर रही थी और उन्होंने वंडर हर्ब्स 4 बताए हैं जो बहुत अद्भुत कार्य करती थी। कोई उसमें से बाणों को निकाल रही थी, कोई घाव को भर रही थी, कोई खून को रोक रही थी, कोई चेतना को ला रही थी। So all this knowledge was with Valmiki. Then the third point is very important. Nowadays, this is ecology is the most recent science, and Hanumanji and Valmiki were knowledgeable about that. That is why he returned back to Himalayas and put that mountain on the original place. So this showed the ecological consciousness of the poet and Hanumanji. And the fourth is dharma and moral toward nature are also shown here. He was doing his duties, his morals toward nature, and he was very careful about nature. So we have seen through the story. And lastly, in the conclusion, we can say Sri Ram followed the morals of Raj Dharma and Kshatriya Dharma. Kshatriya Dharma is shown in the story of Vali, and Raj Dharma is shown in the very beginning of story of exile. Rama killed Vali and Ravana, enemy of humanity, and proved victory of Dharma over Adharma. All his brave activities were meaningful. He destroyed all wrong and negative forces for the fulfillment of his Dharma, welfare of people, and security of nation. He was not fighting for the expansion of his kingdom, and hence he crowned noble Sugriv on the throne of Kishkinda after killing Vali, and righteous Vibhishana on the throne of Lanka after killing Ravana. After his exile, established Ram Rajya, where people will enjoy all sorts of freedom, happiness, justice, satisfaction, and security. The quote says, Ramadivat pravartitavyam na Ramanadivat. One should follow Ram, not Ravana. And that the essence of that is follow Dharma, not Adharma. Thank you.
Thank you, Shashiji. This was so much enlightening, unbelievable. We had no clue, at least I didn't know that Sita lived with him for 13 years out of the 14. I mean, all these questions, they remained unanswered. Why he killed Wali, and, we didn't know what wrong he had done. And how come the Ravan's people didn't get alive with the Sanjeevani? You have answered all those unanswered questions.
Can I
But
ask a couple of questions, Ms. Sharmi?
sure, go ahead. Go ahead, Anju. Yeah, the floor is open. Unmute your mic, Anju. Oh, Anju, you have to unmute. Okay. Okay.
I did unmute. It's
Yeah,
not
we can hear
maybe.
you
Can you
now.
hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I Namaste ji. This is Anju Popat Anjana. Um, I have a question that why oh, is it true? Number one thing is number true that Bali had fought with Ravan and that he had defeated Ravana.
Yeah, this is true. This is true. And he has said this also to Ram that if you have done friendship with me, I can bring Sita without fighting, without battle, because I am more powerful than Ravan.
But Ram did not agree.
No, because the reasons are given here.
Okay. And number two question always, I've always thought that normally Ram Raja was always very big Raja among the other Rajas that we had. But then why was Ashwamedh yagnas were done with and they would go to another Raj and then try to fight, and then if they assimilated themselves to Ram Raja, then they were okay. Otherwise, the fighting would be done. Is that correct also?
Yeah, this is also correct. Because as Ayodhya was a state where Ram and Dashrath was earlier king of that state. So in that period, Desh means is a place. Raja means a place, not the whole of India or Bharat will be called a state, but any place where a king is there, as we have governor. So that time there was king, but no one was disturbing to others' Rajya. Everyone was doing his Rajya. But at time Samrat is there. In the Ved also, all these things are written. Samrat, you have heard about the name Samrat. So
Yes.
Raja is the king who governs only the state, but Samrat is the one who is the king of the who is recognized as the king of the whole
Whole.
nation, whole
Okay.
dweep. They call dweep till ocean is there. That the whole earth is a unit of Rajya. So they will not make them, they will not what to say, they were not conquer that state, another state. King kill the king as he was doing in the medieval period. As history of medieval period is there when they were killing the person of other state. But in ancient India, in the Treta Yuga, no one is killing, everyone is doing his own governing of his Rajya, and Samrat is the one who is declared most powerful, most Tejasvi, voice, etc. So Ram was declared Samrat. And
Okay.
there are so many. As you have heard, Ashok was Samrat. Other were Raja, but he was Samrat. So Samrat is a term given to a particular king. And for that, Ashwamedh Yagya was a method. The Ashwa will go in that state, no one will uh, uh, hold it, hold him, and then
Yeah.
it will be declared that he is accepting the power of that state and that king. Like that. I am not very well versed about all these things. Prashant is
Prashant
there.
ji, Prashant is there. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yes, yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I have very small question because today is also
Okay.
Valmiki Jayanti, and I think
Yeah,
I
I, in the very beginning,
very
please.
in Valmiki Ramayana, there is no evidence of Himalaya and Sanjeevani Bhuti, etc. But in Ramcharitmanas, it narrated very beautifully. So, if we are talking the original Ramayana, if it is not there, then how it come
No,
into the
it is
Ramayana
wrong.
later part?
It is wrong. In Valmiki Ramayana, there are 2 chapters, and there are many shloks in these chapters. Yuddhakand 74, you may note down the chapter number 74, where I
Okay.
have given all these small evidences, but they are very big evidences.
Yes, ma'am.
Himalaya is there, Aushadhi Parvat is between the both big mountains. All these descriptions there. But instead of what you are saying about Tulsidas in Ramcharitmanas, Ramcharitmanas there is only a small chaupai, and that I don't like that portion. In fact, I regard Tulsidas very much, but I don't like that portion because he is skipping the whole narration about getting that Sanjeevani by Hanuman. He's saying he went there, Hanuman na Aushadhi china, he has not recognized any औषधि, so he
Yes.
उखाड़ पर्वत लेना, so उन्होंने पूरा पर्वत उखाड़ लिया, उन्होंने पहचाना नहीं. So this is not true that he was buddhimatam varishtha and he will not recognize the herbs which are described by Jamvan. Only 2 or 3 chopai are there. And in the Valmiki Ramayana, there are very interesting. And I have told you the last 2 shloks are very interesting and important in informative. First was
74,
Ravan
74th
used,
shloka. Yuddhakand.
Ravan used to throw all his enemy men in the ocean due to the fear that people will be disturbed, how many persons are getting killed in the fight. And second is that ecologically, Hanuman returned there. And in no other Ramayana, I got this evidence that Aushadhi Parvat was returned on the Himalaya. In Tulsidas, it was lying still in the Lanka. He has not taken any account of that. That
Thank you.
Sanjeevani, especially I have taken.
Any other question, anybody? If not, then we say thank you, Shashi ji, and all Shashi ji is giving us all her presentations. They will be on our website, and we also have the recording of each and every uh, lecture by the students, I mean, by the teachers. So you can also watch them on the YouTube channel if anyone wants it. I will be sharing that with you guys. Any questions?
In the
Thank you,
next
Ram.